Hey everyone, I wanted to clear something up that's been on the Reddits for a while now that is really actually starting to annoy me quite a bit. It's the notion that this, what you're seeing right there on the screen, is a bastard sword. For those of you unaware, a bastard sword is a hand-and-a-half sword that is around the length of a long sword. What you're looking at right now with the Black Prior's weapon is actually a perfect example of what a bastard sword is. I've seen people refer to this as an arming sword. That's incorrect. An arming sword is pretty strictly only a one-handed weapon. This is a bastard sword. You have room to put your second hand on it if you want, but it's generally designed to be able to be wielded with one hand. That is a perfect example of what a bastard sword is. It's a ZWEIHÄNDER, specifically designed to be wielded by two hands, and above the length of a longsword. Technically, a greatsword does not have a actual concrete definition. A greatsword is technically anything bigger than a longsword, but like I just said, there is no concrete definition. All greatswords are longswords, but not every longsword is a greatsword. This ZWEIHÄNDER is pretty obviously designed to be wielded by two hands, as you can see by the actual fucking hilt. This is meant to be wielded by two hands. This can be wielded by two hands. Do you see the difference? This, meant to be wielded by two hands, can be if needed. Please stop saying this is a bastard sword. This is obviously its ZWEIHÄNDER. What people's perception of this ZWEIHÄNDER seems to be is something that is bigger than Highlander's Claymore, which is just not the case. Highlander's Claymore is sized like a bearing sword, which is a ceremonial greatsword that was lugged around in parades, made to make the owner of said sword look very wealthy. It was traditionally carried by a squire walking around in parades or formal functions. It was specifically made, ornate and very large, to make you look very wealthy, because only the wealthy could afford such a large slab of iron. Honestly, people who are expecting something bigger have probably seen this image floating around, which, again, this is very cool, but that is a very, very obvious indication of a bearing sword. There's no council that meets to decide what type of sword fits where. There's really no concrete definition of what separates each type of greatsword from another. A ZWEIHÄNDER technically only needs to be wielded by two hands, and traditionally, they would have a ricasso, which is the unsharpened piece of metal below the parrying hooks that you would use to half sword, that you would be able to move up and grip above the guard to have better control of the weapon. I'm so tired of hearing this argument. That is a bastard sword. This is a ZWEIHÄNDER. Please stop saying it, and please stop spreading false information.